Rangers' preparations for next season have taken an unexpected turn following a dramatic development concerning next season's potential Champions League campaign. What initially appeared to be a straightforward situation has now shifted significantly, with fresh information emerging that could alter the club's path on Europe's biggest stage. As anticipation builds among the Ibrox support, this latest twist has injected renewed intrigue into Rangers' continental prospects, and it may yet prove pivotal in shaping how their Champions League journey unfolds. Let's break this down in today's video, along with all the other Rangers news from the last 24 hours. There is so much to discuss in today's video, so be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. There are moments in a season when everything suddenly shifts, not because of what happens at Ibrox, but because of events unfolding hundreds of miles away. And right now, Rangers fans need to be watching Greece very, very closely, because a genuine shock twist has emerged in the race for next season's Champions League phase, and it could change everything. Let's break this down properly. First, the situation. Olympiacos recently leapfrogged Rangers in UEFA's 5-year club coefficient rankings after progressing from the Champions League phase with a statement win over Ajax. That move put the Greek champions in pole position for a potentially massive financial and sporting advantage. Why does that matter? Because of a little-known UEFA rule, what many are calling a loophole, that could hand one domestic champion automatic entry into the Champions League phase next season. Here's how it works. The winners of this season's Champions League automatically qualify for next year's league phase. But if those newly crowned kings of Europe have already secured their spot through their domestic league position, then their allocated slot doesn't disappear. Instead, it goes to the domestic champion with the highest individual club coefficient among those entering the qualifying rounds. That's the golden ticket. No qualifiers, no two-legged playoffs. Straight into the league phase, straight into the £30 million jackpot territory. But there's a catch. Rangers have to win the Scottish Premiership, and Olympiacos have to win the Greek Super League. Only then does the coefficient battle come into play. And this is where the shock twist emerges. Olympiacos have just crashed out of the Champions League after a 2-0 aggregate defeat to Bayer Leverkusen. A goalless second leg in Germany sealed their fate. And while manager Jose Luis Mendilibar struck a positive tone publicly, his comments about what comes next raised eyebrows. He admitted that without midweek European fixtures, things may not be straightforward domestically. He said sometimes the strength that the Champions League gives you is greater than the benefit of a break. That's not just media spin. That's a manager acknowledging that momentum matters. European football sharpens you. It raises intensity, it forces tactical growth, it builds belief. And suddenly, Olympiacos won't have that. Instead, they now enter a brutal Greek title race with AEK sitting top, just 2 points clear. PAOK are only 5 off the summit. There are 4 games left in the regular season before the top 4 head into a championship playoff to decide the title. It is knife-edge stuff. One slip, one bad afternoon, one moment of hesitation, and the entire Champions League equation changes. Because if Olympiacos fail to win the league, Rangers' path becomes dramatically clearer, provided they handle their own business in Scotland. And that's the other side of this story. Danny Roll's men sit 4 points behind league leaders Hearts. Celtic are right there. The derby at Ibrox looms large. The margins are tiny, but the prize is enormous because Scotland have slipped to 17th in UEFA's coefficient rankings. That means there is no longer a guaranteed automatic league phase spot for the Scottish champions. If Hearts or Celtic win the league, they would enter at the playoff stage for 2026/27. A 2-legged tie standing between them and the riches of the league phase. Rangers, however, could bypass that entirely if they win the Premiership, if Olympiacos win theirs, and if the Champions League winners qualify domestically. That chain of events opens the door. This isn't fantasy, this isn't wishful thinking, this is regulation reality. And that's why Olympiacos' European exit is such a fascinating development, because while many assumed their coefficient advantage gave them control, Mendilibar's own admission hints at vulnerability. The Greek title race is ferocious, the pressure is rising, and without European momentum, they are walking a tightrope. Meanwhile, Rangers now have added incentive beyond domestic pride. This isn't just about lifting the Premiership trophy. This isn't just about stopping rivals. It's about potentially securing direct entry into Europe's elite competition. No qualifiers, no early July campaigns, no risk of slipping into Europa League limbo. Straight into the spotlight, straight into the financial windfall, straight into the global stage. For a club rebuilding, recalibrating, and chasing stability, that kind of injection changes budgets, transfers recruitment power, and long-term planning. This is bigger than one season. So yes, the title race in Scotland is intense, but the shock twist emerging from Greece has just added an entirely new layer of intrigue. Olympiacos are wobbling, the coefficient battle is alive, and Rangers have a real tangible path to something extraordinary. Now it's simple: win the league, let the dominoes fall, and watch Europe open the door. The question is, can Rangers seize the moment? In other news, Ali McCoist was stunned to learn that flop ex-Rangers right-back Mateusz Sukowski is now banging in goals as a striker in Germany. The Ibrox side signed the Pole for £400,000 from Lechia Dansk, with hopes high he could turn into a star. However, he lasted just 18 months at the club and didn't make a single senior appearance. After a loan at Lech Poznan, he ended up at another club in his homeland, Śląsk Wrocław. But he wasn't there for long either before moving on to Bundesliga, two-side Magdeburg. Amazingly, the German side have converted the 24-year-old into a striker, and it has proved to be a masterstroke, as he has banged in 11 goals in 11 games for the league leaders. McCoist couldn't believe what he was hearing and told TalkSport, "Does this name ring a bell? It probably won't, and it shouldn't. Mateusz Sukowski, I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. This sums us up. Rangers signed him as a right-back for £400,000 on January deadline day in 2022. He left a year and a half later without making a single appearance in the league. Why am I bringing this up? Because since leaving Rangers, he's been converted to a striker in Bundesliga 2, and he scored 11 goals in 11 games. 2 of them came against Edin Dzeko's Schalke on Saturday. They're top of the league. But that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We post all the latest Rangers news every single day, so join our fast growing community so you never miss out. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.